All right, hey everyone, I think we are live now. It looks like we are live, so this is a good sign. Okay, so a couple things we're going to talk about. Today's video is going to be obviously, Bitcoin being down today, miners being up today, and then we're also going to take a look at just really quick the core scientific information that came out today that they're getting close to being basically out of Chapter 11. There's some information that we'll kind of go over it really quick, not too much data there, and then we'll take a look at the miners, how they did last week compared to Bitcoin, and then we'll call it a day and we'll do some Q&A. So, as always, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice, for entertainment only. Please do your own research, and I'm investing in following coins and companies for full disclosure, as you guys always know. And if you like this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. And let's take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin here really quick on this one. So let's see here. All right. Also, I'm using new software here, guys. So if you think the audio is too low, let me know. I'll adjust that. Let me know how the picture quality is as well on this. And let me see if I can, see, I already found the first quirk. I can't bring it down. Wow. Okay. Well, I'll have to deal with it. But basically what we're looking at here is Bitcoin right now being at 39,000. The good thing is that we actually filled the CME futures gap that we were talking about Friday and Saturday. I said I was hoping that Bitcoin would kind of go flat during the weekend and then possibly drop down in price this week. And it did. So Bitcoin right now is at 39,718 roughly. It's definitely come down quite a bit. It is down. I need to figure out a way to get rid of this thing here. How do I? Okay, you guys are not seeing it, but I'm seeing a window on top of a window here, which is driving me nuts. Let's see. I can't get rid of it. Hold on. Give me a second here while I try to figure this out here, how this works. Let's see here. We shall put it on me for the second while I figure this out. There should be, I don't want to see a preview window. Let's see if that helps. Nope, that doesn't help. Oh, there we go. Maybe we just got rid of it. Okay, I think we might be, oh, there it comes back again. Okay, I think I'm good. We'll see if we can do this. Let's go to the screen. Oh, and I got the window back again. All right, let's just minimize that window all the way down here. Okay, that works. So we minimize it. Like I said, there might be some issues here in this video. But what we got here, obviously Bitcoin was down today approximately, and you're not seeing this. Why aren't you not seeing the screen? Run screen. Well, that's interesting. Oh, man. Back to live mode. Cancel. Let me see here. Preview. I don't want to do preview. Oh, well, this is terrible. Let me see. Unpublished changes. Nope. I don't want to do this. Cancel. Okay. Well, okay. So like I said, you guys, I'm using new software here. I've never done it live, and I'm having issues. So the issues that I'm having right now are that I can't change over to the other screen without being in preview mode. Okay, screen share is what I have it on. So you guys are seeing me here instead of go back to live mode, revert changes. Okay, hopefully this works. Let's see here. Now if I do screen, there you go. You guys are seeing the screen. Okay. All right, we're back to normal. Sorry about that. All right, so like I said, Bitcoin was down today 4.88% on the day. And from there, we obviously went through the CME futures gap, which we had before here, which was on Friday, the 1st of December. And then obviously that was a weekend, and then it bounced during the weekend. And then we started trading on the CME futures again on December 4th. So we had this kind of gap here between 39,615 and roughly 40,300, something like that. We filled that gap today, which I was kind of calling for that to happen. I wasn't sure what's going to happen, but looking back historically, the gaps do usually get filled back up. So there is usually a good sign there. Okay, and let's go on to the miners here really quick. Oh, other thing about Bitcoin here. Bitcoin is looking pretty good right now. I still think that Bitcoin may come down to about the 38,000 mark before everything is said and done. If that doesn't hold, I think we may be coming down here to like the 34,000, 35,000 mark, potentially somewhere around there. We have some support back here as well, and resistance as well. So that's kind of our steps that we might go through. Okay, now as far as the miners were concerned, like I said, the miners were up today, which is kind of surprising with Bitcoin being down so much, being down 4.8, almost 5% on the day. It was surprising that the miners actually bounced a little bit. So usually the miners front run Bitcoin to the upside and to the downside here. Now, historically, when we look at this, we see that Bitcoin, like I said, last cycle. Bitcoin's actually going up into the halving event. Miners were going down in the halving event. I'm still thinking that might be a play here, but we'll see, right? The big change that we have right now is the spot Bitcoin ETF. We have the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust selling a lot of it. That may end with the selling in maybe a week or 2 or 3. Who knows when that's going to happen? Maybe at that point, Bitcoin's going to start going back up. But the miners, I don't know where they're going to go, right? It's a different area that we're in. So looking at the miners here, Annie was up 4.32%. Argo was actually down 0.53%. BitDigital was up 3.16%. BitDeer was up 6.25%. Bitfarms was kind of flat on the day. Cypher was up 5.2. Cleanspark was up 3.3. CORZ, surprisingly, with them basically getting out of Chapter 11 bankruptcy here within the next couple of days, they were actually down today, 9.3. I thought they would be actually up, but it might be just on the news that came out today. We'll take a look at that here shortly. Digihost was up 2.13. DMG was down 5.3. Then we got Greenidge being up 2.3. Hive was up, down 1.57. Hut down another 2.75%. And then Hut 8, you guys may or may not know, Sue Ennis from Hut 8 is going to be doing basically a press junket tomorrow with a couple of the other YouTubers, McNally Money, and I believe Talking Investing, possibly other ones as well. So she's going to be definitely talking about some of the things that happened with Hut 8 in, with the short report that came out, when was it, Thursday, Friday, whenever that came out. So she's going to be possibly talking about that. We'll see how much details we can get from that. Okay, Iris Energy was down just barely 0.46. Marathon up 2.98. Mawson down 5.58. Riot up 3.01. Soluna up just 3.12%. Stronghold up 4.1, and then Wolf up 5%. So that was a pretty good day for a lot of the miners here. Some of the smaller miners, and surprisingly, the Canadian miners were also down today. Okay, so we'll see how things progress going forward. Right now, I think it might be, well, this is my own doing, so obviously do your own due diligence, but I think I'm going to start buying a little bit more heavier going into the next couple of weeks here. But we'll see where the miners go in price right now. I am looking to possibly pick up some more later on this week, but we'll see where the miners go up. Okay, but that's just kind of what I'm doing here, because I think once we get past the halving event, things will definitely change for us, and that'll be a good sign then. Okay, so that's it for that one. Let's see here. Okay, so Core provided that they had basically a emergence update today, and they did it with a conference call, and they provided this spreadsheet here, which is what we have right now. And looking at it here, there's some possibly good things here that I saw, right? They obviously paid off their DIP financing, which was good, finalized oversubscribed 55 million equity offering, which was good. And then they're also the amount that they mined themselves was really large compared to other miners here. So if they do get out of this, well, we know they're going to get out of it. So when they do get out of it, go on NASDAQ and everything else, I think this might be a good thing for them and for the investors as well. But we'll have to see how they go about it forward. I think all of this is going to be good, though. Let's see. Core expects to emerge from bankruptcy in the next few days. They're supposed to get on the NASDAQ, which will be good. We do have a share exchange ratio of 10-1. So basically, if you have 10 shares of the company, you only get one afterwards. They also have the post-emergence net debt of $571 million and planned equity value of $929 million. And then only $50 million of the debt amortization required through 2025. So that's actually pretty good there. That's going to save them a lot this year. So I think that's going to be good. I think this is going to work out pretty well for them. Okay. And then you got the key share prices here on that. You guys can take a look at it. I'm not going to go into all this stuff. There's a lot of details here that's, especially if you guys are invested in that, is definitely worth reading here. But overall, I think this is going to be pretty good. And then also, let's see here. They have exit delayed draw term loan, 9% cash interest rate, and then new secured notes, 12.5. That's kind of high. New secured convertible notes are going to be at 6% cash, 6% PIK, or 10% cash. And then minor equipment debt of 3% cash, 10% PIK for 2 years, 10% cash thereafter. Okay, so they do have a plan, obviously, to get out of it. And I think it's going to put them definitely in a much better position where they were before. And the other good thing is we've noticed recently, we'll have to take a look at Q4 numbers, but their hosting has been becoming more profitable, which is a good sign, because before in 2022, their hosting was losing money. So this is obviously a good sign there. Okay, so that's all we have here for this. Let's get into the miners as far as how they did last week compared to Bitcoin. And let's see here. There we go. So we always look at this chart here. This is the green bars are from their 52-week lows, how much the miners have gone up from there. And then we're also looking at from the 52-week highs, how far away they are from their 52-week highs. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had a bunch of miners reaching new 52-week highs here. They're obviously way below that now because of where they've come down. But here's what we still have here. Marathon obviously still up 1,410% over the last 52 weeks from their bottom. Mawson is up 441%. Cleanspark 237, Sphere 224, Marathon 214, Bitfarms 207, Digital 160%, pretty close to Cypher. TeraWolf 155%, Iris 149%. BitDeer 131, Bitcoin is only up 112%, while these guys all underperformed here Bitcoin in the last 52 weeks. We got DMG 109, Argo 104, Riot 99, Digihost 72, Hive 44, and Hut 8 only 14.2%, right? Hut obviously saw a huge decline in price over, last week when the short, it's not a newsletter, it was a short publication by J Capital, and that came out that have definitely devastated the stock there, and I think that's why they are out trying to drum up some support again for the company and explain things as best as they can. We'll see what they have to say tomorrow on that. Okay, weekly performance here. So looking at the weekly, and I look at it from Friday to Friday each week. That goes for Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners as well. We can see here that Bitcoin was only down 2.88%. The only ones that did better than Bitcoin was Core being up 0.72%, and then we have BitDeer up 4.07%. Everybody else last week just got crushed here by Bitcoin. And you can see here Hut 8 was down 30%, right, the most, followed by TeraWolf at down 18%, Cypher down 17%, Iris down 16%, Cleanspark down 15%, Marathon down 15% also, Bitfarms down 14%, DMG almost 14%, the Digital 13.3%, then you got Riot down 12%, Hive down 12%, Mawson down 10%, Digihost down 9.6%, Argo down 7.8%, Sphere down 4.1%. So kind of really tough week. We've had a couple of tough weeks here on Bitcoin miners in general and Bitcoin itself. So if we look at the 4-week chart, that looks even worse now. So before we were seeing a lot more miners being in the positive side, but looking at this, everything here in the last 4 weeks is basically in the red. So if you bought 4 weeks ago, and there's a lot of you guys out there that did, right, when things were starting to pump up on Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners as well. A lot of you guys were getting into it at that point. So I can definitely feel your pain here, getting in closer towards that higher price on Bitcoin as things have come down here. But we can see here that Bitcoin at this point is only down 1.14%. And when we talk about Bitcoin leverage on the miners and against Bitcoin, you have this kind of effect where it happens on the downside and on the upside. So if Bitcoin goes up 2%, historically, miners will do like 4 or 5% at that point. But if Bitcoin goes down, you can also see the opposite side here. So, I mean, here you're seeing almost like on some of these, Bitcoin was down 1% from 4 weeks ago, and the miners are down like 40x that, right? So you got BitDeer down 35%, Core down only 4%. So it looks like that one's done the best out of them all. And you got Sphere down 44, Argo down 49, Digihost down 38, Mawson down 27, Hive down 29, Riot down 33, Digital down 40, DMG down 22, Bitfarms down 28, Marathon down 31, Cleanspark down 37, Iris down 39, Cypher down 35, TeraWolf down 42, and Hut 8 down 48. The worst one here is going to be Argo on the 4 weeks chart. Okay, let's take a look at the next one here, which is going to be on the 8 weeks chart, and then things look a little bit different, right? So had you bought 8 weeks ago, and some of these miners, you might be doing pretty good here. We see that Bitcoin is up 7.57% from 8 weeks ago. Best performer here for that time frame is Core up 247%, followed by Mawson up 147% for really no reason there. And then Sphere up 131%, also up for no reason there, right? There's not anything that's really happening to those two companies that would warrant this type of price action and appreciation, other than maybe people just speculating more so than anything else, seeing that those were beaten down more than other miners, but there's reasons for it, why. Okay, and then we got, who else is up pretty good here? Argo, same thing, right? Some of the smaller miners that we cover here are doing better than some of the big players. So it's kind of interesting to take a look at it. I'm not going to go through all of these numbers, but you guys can see how things have stacked up. Out of the bigger miners, it looks like Bitfarms has done the best here, up 25.9, BitDeer up 28% as well. And then Hut is still down from 8 weeks ago at 39%. So kind of interesting there. And then going all the way back to 12 weeks ago, you can still see that Mawson, for no reason at all, is up 237%. Well, then we got the next one would be Core, 93%. I can see why that one's going up because they're getting out of Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Then you got Sphere up 81%, followed by Bitfarms, and then you would have to go to probably Marathon at 71%, and everybody else, how those have all stacked up. So it's kind of interesting to take a look at how that progression has changed over the last 1 week 1 month, 2 months, and then obviously 3 months out. And you can see here that we're having obviously more red here than we are in the green when we look at it, the 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and the 4 weeks, and the 1 week. And then all the miners weekly here, we're seeing a lot more. We're seeing basically almost, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks now in the red here on the miners here, right? With a couple exceptions here like CORZ and everything else on that. But that's basically what's been happening here. So it was overdue, I think, a little bit. We've gone up too high, too fast, and we needed a little bit of a pullback. I think this is healthy for the market and for the miners, but we still have the halving event coming up, which could also put a little bit more down pressure on the miners themselves because their revenue is going to get cut in half. So be mindful of that. My strategy is to continue to dollar cost average in. If we do get dips, but yeah, that's basically it on it. So you can see how that has all played out. So let's get into Q&A now. And we'll see if we can figure out what kind of questions you guys have or anything like that. And let's see here. Let's do this. And we'll turn that off. And then I'll go over to my other screen here where I can see your guys' comments a lot better. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, let's see here. Will we pump? And this was, let's see if this works. If I can pin it. And I probably need to update the text on this. So let me do that. See if we can change the text on this to white so you guys can see it. So I'll try to do this. That way you guys can see what I'm talking about here. So like I said, this is a learning experience with the new software, but I think it does provide a little bit more context to everything. Okay, so back at these scam chats, will we pump? Not until after the halving event, I think, at that point. All right, we'll see where things go. And let's see what else do we have here. Wolf, Chris, let me see here. Let's get, I probably should have done something here. Let's get rid of that. And let's see here. What's your next big buy, Hank? Well, next big buy is going to be probably buying more back into like Cleanspark, Bitfarms. I probably want to get into a little bit more Iris Energy. I don't have a huge position in them, so I definitely want to get more into that one. And let's see what else here. Which miner is the most undervalued currently? That all depends. So this is from Bruce Seed. Which miner is the most currently undervalued? If we look at the numbers here, let's see if we can go to the screen share really quick. Let's see here. Okay. Go there and we'll go into the miners here. If we look at the miners here, where is it at? Not that one. Don't want that one. Where is it? I got too many spreadsheets. Miner comparison. Looking at this, it looks like a lot of them are way under from where they should be right now. If we look at potential percentage gains where I think they should be, right? Core, obviously, being in Chapter 11 is going to be one of the top ones there. If we look at Stronghold, there's reasons why it's way under. It's mainly because of, well, the debt that they have, the operating costs and things like that. So that's the reason why they're kind of there. But out of the bigger guys, I would think that Iris Energy, right? It's way down 325% for where I think they should be to 538%. Then you got, who else would be up there? They're probably one of the biggest ones here, actually. Currently, and I didn't pull in numbers from today as far as the stock ending price, but then you also have Bitfarms down 116% from where they should be, I think, to 224. Cleanspark 69 to 153. TerraWolf potentially 112 to 217, but they have also debt, so that's concerning there. That's maybe why the stock is down on that one. Who else is kind of low here? Cypher 93 to 189% below where they should be possibly. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. And let's get back here. Let's see, what else do we have here? On this one, let's get rid of that. We did that one. Mawson looks promising even with horrible financials. So that's from Turbo John. Yeah, that's a tough one. They're going to be in a world of hurt. They have some older miners as well. So I think that's going to have a huge impact on them when the halving event comes around. Their finances are horrible. So I don't know how they're going to be able to survive that halving event unless they dilute a lot. Right? That's the only way I can think of it here on that one. Next, let's see here. Backed, I don't know enough about Backed. This is from Ratchet. I don't track them, so I don't have enough information on them. Let's see. New to the miners, what is the best profit? Let's see if we can do this. New to the miners, what is the best profit taking strategy with them? The swings are wild and rapid. I don't day trade with the miners. It's just so volatile. And I've just been dollar cost averaging into them since 2022, early 2022. And the thought process is I want to get as much as I can and then have a nice stack. And at that point, sometime in maybe possibly early 2025 to mid 2025, exit those out depending on where Bitcoin goes to all-time highs. That's kind of the plan there, at least on that one. Let's see here. Okay, and this is a great question from Islam Mohammed. Question: how much of a dip in network hash rate do you expect as unprofitable miners are withdrawn from the network? Historically, we've seen around 20%. So that's kind of what I expect. So if we do get a dip and Bitcoin stays where it's at, but if Bitcoin price goes up before the halving event, we may not see that dip. But it also depends on the network hash rate. So if the network hash rate increases more, so that might also cause a little bit of dip. So I would say 20% would be possibly our top there, that we would get a dip on that. Next, any DSM price targets for Bitfarms and Cleanspark? I know you said you're ramping up buying. Could it get as low as it did 4 months ago? It's possible that it could get that low. I don't think it will, though. I think right now we're going to be kind of trading a little bit maybe sideways with miners a little bit, maybe a little bit down. But it all depends on where Bitcoin goes, right? The last halving cycle, we saw a year before, the miners were going down in price. Bitcoin is actually going up a little bit. I don't know if that's going to repeat because we have the spot Bitcoin ETF. So it all depends on possibly where the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust sells their BTC that they need to sell or are required to sell. And when that stops, we'll see where Bitcoin goes. And then obviously things may change after that. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. We got one from Single Track Saga. What do you think prices will be relative to what they are now by April? April, like I said, I think they're going to be probably kind of flat, maybe going down a little bit on that one. Let's see, what else do we have here? Okay. Miner Doc here asks, when do you think BTC closes a monthly candle above 48K? After the halving, I'm thinking June, July. That will dictate the beginning of the beginning of the FOMO run for the miners, buying opportunity to buy more, to buy for now. Yeah. Typically when we have the halving event, last halving cycle, so we keep going back to historical data. Last halving cycle, the miners didn't start running up until possibly like 2-3 months after the halving event, and that's usually when Bitcoin starts running up as well. So I can expect the same thing. As far as 48, we might actually, I think we're going to come down in price a little bit more to like 37,000 with Bitcoin right now before we possibly go back up. If that happens, I don't know where Bitcoin's going to go, whether it's going to trade sideways until the halving event, and then after the halving event, it's going to pump. We'll have to see. But yeah, I think anytime we get a dip here on any of these things, it might be a good buying opportunity at that time. Let me see here. Okay. Turbo John asks, Mawson chart looks good as well as HUD. Call me crazy. Can't believe you read my comment. That, so no problem there. What else do we have here? Okay. Before having lots of comments, they will still be profitable. I'm trying to think for one. Okay, here's a good question from Hank again. Do you think Cleanspark will get into a higher performance computing like some of the other miners? I think they might wait it out until they start seeing some really good numbers, possibly from the other miners that are getting into it. Now, we'll have to see on that one. They haven't stated any intentions in doing that yet, but we could look at it like a Apple situation, right? Apple sometimes is late to the market, but when they do it, they crush it. So we'll see if Cleanspark does the same thing and crushes like they've done with mining here. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm standing on that one. Let's see. What else do we have here? Okay, I think I caught up with everybody here. Yeah, okay. LB says just buy the dip and you won't regret a few months from now. Yeah, I agree with that. So I think we'll leave it at that, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the new software where we have the comments show up on the screen. Let me know how the sound is. And then we'll see what happens, obviously, later on this week. Hopefully we'll get some information from miners. We'll get some information from HUD 8 tomorrow as well, as far as what's going on with their investigation to all those accusations. And I guess we'll call it a day. All right. So thank you so much for coming in. Like I said, give me as much feedback as you guys can. I appreciate it. All right. Until then, have a great night.